What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Bro, you're a legend. I love to hear that. Love to hear that, brother. Alright. Let's get into it. Okay. Sorry for the flashbang. Alright, so on the 4 hour, Bitcoin's rally continues today. Now, we did put in the two green candles that we were talking about to the upside yesterday, so we do have our 4 hour strong low here. We have broken out of the wedge. We are retesting 4 hour supply here. And let's take a look at what's going on in supply. So we do have some valid external structure here. So if we do get a break of this low on the 5 minute, let's see about the 15. Yeah, on the 15 minute too, then we would have the start of a little pullback on the 15 minute, because we did have like an SFP that would lead to a break of structure here. Now we know our 4 hour strong low is here, so if we're pulling our 4 hour fibs here, one level of interest would be to take all of the liquidity in these lows, come down to our golden pocket, break some structure there, and then come back up to take the highs and keep rallying towards our liquidity targets. But if the 15 minute market structure doesn't break, then we would just assume that since the... Wait, is the music too loud? Oh, I didn't say hello to everyone, guys. Sorry, guys, jumping right in. What's up, Julia? How's it going? What's up, Card Cafe? TF, good to see you. Yeah, we can look at Fart, dude. What's up, Mikey? Yeah, Ligma Week, that's awesome, man. It's really awesome. Idea what's going on. Yeah, we might have to move the stream back to the 8 o'clock time slot. Doesn't seem like as many people are around in the earlier streams. I think I'll do a poll or something. It might be also that I haven't like posted the schedule in Discord. I might just need to do that. Okay. So what I was saying, yeah, so we do have a possible SFP break of structure on the 15 minute, so you do have to be wary of that. As long as your 15 minute structure doesn't break, though, you would just assume that your 4 hour uptrend is going to continue up to the targets that we laid out yesterday. At first, liquidity target being right here at around 113,400. The next liquidity target being here around 117. And we did have like the unmitigated area here. Throw a 1 in the chat if you're long, if you're holding a long from anywhere in here. I want to know. I know Ligma's got a long from... Are you long from like the 150 area on Sol? That's awesome, like 159-ish. I gotta get this music off. I can't focus. Hold on. There we go. All right. Should we be make a new chart, do some more top down. You guys have all this stuff from yesterday, so. Wait. What's going on? Hold on. 161. I wouldn't say that's late, bro. I'd say you're doing just fine, man. That's awesome. Okay. Dude, I don't care. Trading view. Okay. Let's do it. Let's just make a new chart. Let's do some fresh top down. All right. So let's start with the weekly. Let's do a rundown. So on the weekly, we know that we have our weekly strong low here. That we came down to our golden pocket area. Right? Key level. Also, where else did we bounce from? Decision demand that we were talking about, right? Ever since like back here. We were talking about how if we break out of this zone and we come down to mitigate, where are we likely to mitigate from? Decision demand over here. And it looks like that combined with a golden pocket gave us a nice little mitigation here. So that's really kind of all you need to know on the weekly is that our strong low is down here and that we're bounced from the golden pocket. Let's go to our daily. So our daily, we have put in a inverse JPAL pattern here with SFP break of structure. So we are currently bearish on the daily. And what are we doing right now? We're attempting to get back into this range, right? So another thing that we know on the daily, right? Ooh, that's not the best sign. But we do know that our golden pocket up here is around, or wait, sorry. Is around 118,000. We know that we're getting above a spider line here, and the next spider line is at about 115. Let's see, where's our 0.5 on the daily? 0.5 is around that 115 level. We're in a daily supply right now. Let's see. Yeah, so kind of the area that we marked out yesterday, we're going to mark that out again, right? Because this looks like a significant area of supply, as well as you have the liquidity in this high, right? Giving you confluence. You have like 3 or 4 factors here as a place to be aware of, or like a target for longs, right? And that's kind of, we'll make this a red box. Right, so make this kind of like a target for any like golden bull run longs, right? Now, of course, optimistically, we'd like to put in a new high, right? But we have to understand the daily is bearish, so we would need to wait for that proof before we would get overly bullish there. Let's see. So looking at let's look at 12-hour. I think we looked at that yesterday. So the 12-hour, we did break structure here as well. We have a little bit of resistance around like 114. The next obvious target here is the liquidity in this high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Let's look at our 4-hour. So we had our little accumulation model down here. We had our mitigation. We're having our continuation now. We are putting in 2 red candles in a row right now, so if we do put in any sort of retracement here, it will give us another strong low for us to trade away from, which is nice on the 4 hour. If you're pulling your fib on the 4 hour like we did earlier, you're looking at around about like 110,000. If we're looking for any confluence in that area, let's zoom in a little bit. So we have, this is nice. So we have some confluence down here. We have an untapped order block down here, basically right at the golden pocket, right? No 30-minute structure in here. And we do have, we did have 15-minute. So if you lose your 15-minute structure here, it's like 2 to 1. Yeah, it's not necessarily. I mean, yeah, if you're looking for a short here, we are in 4 hour supply. I forgot to mark that, right? So if we take our 4 hour supply here, we did just take out 4 hour supply. If we lose 15-minute structure here, your 15-minute and your daily are still bearish. So you could take this 2 to 1 short here. What I'd be interested in as well is whenever we come down, right? If we take all the liquidity in these lows, like I was saying earlier, we come down here, break structure here. I'd be interested in taking a long from here back up to run these highs and hopefully keep pushing higher. But that's kind of the most interesting trade on the chart for me right now, would be coming down to take out these lows. Otherwise, if we're just going to hold 15-minute structure, like if this low is just going to hold and we're just going to push up, then we can't just take continuation trades. Let's check. So yesterday on the stream, we talked about taking, about how to get on trend using like the EMA strategy. So if you were trading the EMA strategy today, let's see. So you'd probably be asleep for this, but if you caught this, that'd be nice. But you could have caught in some entries here on the 5-minute and here on the 5-minute. And pretty nice to write up for the day. Yeah, like I said, so since we're innocent until proven guilty right now, this is when you're able to just take your longs, ride them up, leave your runners, take profit at previous highs, leave your runner, and hope it keeps running, right? We are in a trend move right now, so you wouldn't want to necessarily fade the trend, right? So the trend is your friend until the end, right? So if you are going to be taking shorts, you should at least be waiting for there to be some sort of market structure break, which is why this morning, after we swept this high, right, after we took out this high, since we did sweep into this 4-hour supply block, the only valid short that I would have seen is if we came down and lost our structural low here. But we didn't. We actually just came up and put in a new high and then came right down here. The risk to reward longing here was insane because your strong low is right here, right? But yeah, so we put in another high. We brought it back down. We didn't break structure and we just kept going up, right? So the idea behind the short here is the same as the idea if we were to break this, come back up and go lower, right? Is just waiting for 5-minute structure to break, right? This is why market structure is so important, because inside this whole area here, you never had a break of 5-minute structure, right? So if you're long from down here and you're leaving your runner, or if you're just still in the trade, right, there's absolutely no reason to close it in here because you never have a structure break, all right? So the first place that we'd even look for a structure break would be if we lose this low. Love to see you, Julia. Love to see you, Lidio. What's up, Anna Poncho? How's it going? Hey, Barb. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Okay. So that's kind of the two trades that I see on Bitcoin right now. Is if you lose this, you can try to take the short down to here. Or if we get down here with some structure, you can take that. Obviously, if we, bounce from, is this mitigated? If we bounce from like some unmitigated, like an unmitigated order block in here or something like that, the trade's the same, right? You're just waiting for 5-minute structure to break on the way down, right? Because that's how you're going to be able to get into the trend move, right? Because you're waiting for the 5-minute to align with your 1 hour, to align with your 4 hour, to align with your weekly, right? But But yeah, the spot that makes the most sense for that to happen is down here at this order block. This is a 4-hour order block. Or not a 4-hour order block, sorry. This is a 1-hour order block, which would be nice. So continuation trades if we don't lose structure. So if we SFP this and break like some structure on like the 5-minute or on like the 3-minute, right? Yeah, so if we like, or if we just SFP it, right? You could take the SFP trade, or if we come up here and break structure, you could get long here, stop loss below here, look to take that up. Now the good thing about if this is like a shallower retracement, so this 4 hour is going to close in 30 minutes, right? So if the real continuation trade, so if we, so since we're putting 2 bearish candles in a row here, if we then come up and break this high, this is now a 4-hour strong low, right? So understanding that you're taking that like 15-minute SFP trade or that 15-minute break of structure trade up here with the idea that you're going to be able to move your stop loss underneath here, right? And that's like a 1% stop loss on a swing trade, right? That's not bad. So those are kind of the 3 moves that I'd be watching for. I'd watch for a clean break of 111.650 to come down to like 109.800, 110. I'd look for a bounce out of 110 with structure, right? For a bounce out of here. Or I'd look for a break of this high or an SFP, right? If you were going to use like the range deviation as your stop, right? But make sure you have volume confirmation. The safest trade is up here, right? A clean break of this with the anticipation to move your stop loss back below this new 4-hour strong low. Right, because that's the only thing on the 4-hour right now is that we haven't had a strong low anywhere in here since down here, right? So being able to move your stop loss up here if you're like in a swing from down here, etc., is nice, right? And that's going to confirm in 30 minutes. Cool beans. Any questions on Bitcoin before we move on to ETH or altcoins? What's up, JR? Yeah, I think I'm going to have to put a poll in the Discord on whether people want to push the stream back to 8 or if it's just because I haven't posted the schedule and it's like alternating days. But yeah, it's great to have you here because people are catching the VOD, they're just not catching the live. What's up, Cubanidian? Good to have you, man. Did you end up getting back into Sol? Yeah, don't forget to like the stream, guys. It's free. Helps the stream. All right, cool. Well, if there's no more questions on Bitcoin, we can check out ETH here. All right, so ETH is still working on breaking 4-hour structure. We still haven't had an external break of 4-hour structure yet. We have gotten back above the 50 EMA, which is nice. The trend ribbon is flipping back. Bullish. Okay, let's go back to the clean chart here. All right, so like we said on yesterday's stream, most of this is mitigated in here. You're going to have your next, like if you're able to break 4-hour structure, your next major level of resistance is going to be like 47.18. Do we have like a key fib level there? Let's see. Oh, wow, look at that. So you have your golden pocket there as well. Actually, no, you don't. Okay. You have your golden pocket area kind of in that same general area. So that's going to be this area here. Now this is just resistance, right? But this would be like a good target if you're in like a long from the SFP or something down here. It would be nice if the 4-hour did break on ETH here because that would give you like an SFP break of structure pattern, which usually leads to decent moves. That's what we saw in Bitcoin, right? It's the exact same thing we saw in Bitcoin, SFP, break of structure. It's just that ETH is a little bit behind, right? So if it does come up and break, it would give that same pattern. Let's see. Let's zoom out. Let's go to the daily. Ooh, you almost had structure here on the daily. That means that's 12-hour structure. No, it's not 12-hour structure. Okay. It is 8-hour structure. So if you come up and break this high, you're not only breaking 4-hour structure, you're also breaking 8-hour structure. Let's see how Sol's doing. Well, I guess I finished ETH. Sol was a little bit ahead of ETH, so I want to check it out, but let's see. So if we do break 4-hour structure, we would have nice support down here. Let's see what our indicators look like. Nice wick into our reversal zone, into our 200 EMA here. Sitting at the bottom of the channel. Zoom in. Okay, so we have an unmitigated 1-hour order block in the same area as like our golden pocket here. This is kind of similar to what Bitcoin looks like, right? So if Bitcoin's gonna go to the 1-hour order block, I would guess that ETH is gonna do the same thing. We are getting a sell signal on ETH on the 1 hour, although it is putting in like this inside bar flag consolidation here. Let's see, what would that be? Yeah, so I would say the area that I would be looking for is like this kind of decision block, order block here. So I'd look for, do we have any structure for short on ETH? Yeah, so ETH, did it break yet? Let's see. So ETH pulls the high here. Yeah, so ETH already broke bearish. So you break bearish, you retrace back to your highs, and now you're coming down. Okay, so ETH is already under 5-minute bearish structure. Let's look at the 15. So it SFP'd the 15 with the possibility to break bearish on the 15 right now. So if it does break bearish on the 15, see if you have the RR shorted. You may want to look for like a retrace to this order block here. And obviously, like you can tell, if it's going to roll over, right, it can turn into a bigger short. But I would say it's likely to revisit like 4,400-ish. So you could look for this short on ETH if you're wanting to get short at these highs. If you're waiting for a little more patience there, I do like the long idea down here as well. But I do still really want to see, because right now all it's doing really is getting rejected from here, right? See that? Right, a quick liquidity grab above the high. Did it take the high? Oh, it didn't take it. Yeah, it's just getting rejected from previous supply here. So it's getting rejected from supply, trying to break structure. Yeah, maybe we can come back and check this in like 7 minutes. But yeah, so the trades that I'd be looking for is like a retrace shorts on ETH here. You get like a 2.34, and you could leave a runner on that, or just a long from coming back down. Right now, in order for this short to be valid, you have to lose your 15-minute structure. Right, so you have to close below here, because it could just SFP it again and go. Right. And I would use 5 minutes to get into this trade. I'd use 5 minutes. So alternatively, if ETH is going to break up here, this is nice because you have a 1 hour strong low here, right? So if ETH closes above this high here, you can get long on that with a stop loss below the low. And you obviously waiting for like a mitigation, you can get less than a 1% stop, right? If you're looking to target the box up here, right? That's like a 5-to-1 trade. It's not bad. So those are kind of the 3 trades that I'd be looking for. So I'd be looking for the short out of the 15-minute break here to come down. I'd be looking for the bounce out of this order block area up, 5-minute structure break as your entry. Or I'd look for a 1 hour close above here, stop below the new strong low to take it up to the sell golden pocket. That's what I see on ETH. Awesome. All right. So let's... What's going on, Kango? What's going on, Zaid? Nice. Nice, Cuban. Love it. Sol and FXX? Sure. Yeah, let's check it out. I'm going to look at Fart for TF first real quick. Okay. All right, so on Fart, let's go to the daily. So you break your daily bearish. Break your daily bearish here. Break it back bullish. SFP it. And then break it bearish here. So you just recently broke bearish on the daily here. Could be a deviation, but yeah, it's a really large deviation. Be careful about that. Do have like a nice downward trending momentum here that's holding right now. So if we want to get like overly, if you want to start getting like a little more bullish on Fart, you want to see it break this downtrending momentum. Until it does that, it's still just downtrending. Let's see. Let's go to our 4 hour. So, so it's SFPing the 4 hour high right now. Is the weekly at least bullish on this? Let's see. So you break your weekly bearish last week as well. You're rejecting off. Did you tap this demand at least? No. All right. So let's mark out our demands. And let's mark out our order block. Let's start with the weekly. And let's zoom in. So let's go to our daily. So what kind of setup do we have? Where's our closest daily structure? So our daily high before this high, that doesn't count, that's internal. It's going to be up here, like 117 cents. So it's got a lot of work to do to flip the daily back bullish. Let's go to our 4 hour. 4 hour, we just broke bearish, or we just SFP'd bearish after breaking bearish. Man, look at those. Look at those EMAs. That's quite the gap on these EMAs. I'd be awfully careful with Fart here. You're SFPing. Yeah. So some signs of, so the good news on Fart is that what you need to get a little bullish on FART is really close, right? So if you break this downtrending momentum, you're also flipping the 4-hour bullish, and then you could look for like a retrace continuation, right? But you right now, all signs point to short, right? Now that doesn't mean that necessarily short it, right? Because I haven't zoomed into the 500 or anything like that, right? But technically, you would be like shorting it stop loss above here, right? Take it down to form a new low. And where would you be targeting on that short? Well, you'd likely be targeting here, like 65 cents. Hey, it hit 69 cents. Nice. Nice. That's where you should have longed to TF. Come on, man. Obviously, you should have longed to 69. Let's be real. All right. Of course, it bounced from 69 cents. That's hilarious. We were pointing that out a long time ago. Okay. So you did break your 5-minute bearish now after that SFP, right? So you pull the high here, and then you break bearish here. Retest SFP, that new high. SFP, SFP, SFP. This. All right, so let's find the closest time frame that's bullish and see what kind of retrace we're looking for. So you actually just broke your 1 hour bearish as well. Your 2 hour strong lows here. Looks like we bounced from like an 886 bounce. Mitigated that. We haven't mitigated this. Let's check this. Yeah, I don't think I would wait. I'm gonna be honest. On FART, I would wait. I would wait for the 4 hour structure to break. I would wait. I would say if you're looking to get long on FART, wait for 80 cents to break and close the support unless you're long from 69 cents. The only other place that I would be confident telling you to, obviously you're probably going to get a bounce here, right, around like 77 cents. But this order block down here looks appealing. That's like 73-ish cents. But generally, I would wait because it's just so close, right? Like you're at 79 cents. If you wait till you break 80 cents, then you have a break of 4 hour market structure and you have a break of downtrending momentum, and then you can just look to get giga long and ride it back up to the golden pocket, right? So that just is a better trade for me. Yeah, I would say patience on FART. Okay. Let's see. Ave and not, yeah. Look at that. Let's look at Ave. So Ave, yeah, we already talked about this. It's still in an uptrend on the weekly. It had an SFP. Okay, so Ave has broken internal 4-hour market structure bullish. The external market structure was already bullish from this break down here. Set a new low, set a new high. This was your strong low. Yeah, so all of this is internal to this point and this point. So what have you done in that range? You have come down to your 886, and then you stopped everyone out who got long here with a stop loss below it. You swept it, and now you're putting in a nice JPAL pattern. So you're putting in a SFP, break of structure. Where do you have resistance? You have resistance at this supply here. Now this is internal supply, so it's just an area to be aware of. It's not necessarily somewhere that you'd look for it to like create a new low out of, but it's a resistance area. So Kim, if you are long on it, I'd consider paying yourself a little bit at this 332.33 level. But yeah, Aave looks better than a lot of charts. Kind of similar to like it's giving like Solana vibes. So you had your golden cross, you had your golden cross retest, and now you came back down and tested one more time. You're breaking 4-hour structure out of a pullback zone. Where do you pull back to? You pull back to this decision block before the massive pump, before this OBIM here. And now you're breaking 4-hour structure, or you did break 4-hour structure out of it. So what would we be looking for now? You'd be looking for mitigation and continuation, right? So maybe you come up here, you come down, you mitigate, and you continue. I can see that for sure. Or maybe you just blast through. Obviously, so these would be my targets for you. You would have liquidity here. You would have resistance in this unmitigated range here, around like 345. And here. And then the high, right? But yeah, I think it looks good. You have a JPAL pattern on your 4-hour. I think you're just trading with trend on the smaller time frames. This is Aave is similar to Bitcoin right now. So it's innocent until proven guilty, right? So that means that you can just be taking long scalps on whatever strategy you'd like, right? Whether it's going to be the like 5200 strategy, right? Right from the cross. You would have got faked out in this range here twice. Then you would have won the 1, 2, 3. You guys know you can use structure to make it a little easier on yourselves. One of our Discord members as well had a caveat to this strategy they found where they're entering when the 5-minute or when the candle closes back above the 200 after going underneath. Just something interesting that I saw in resources when they posted their scripts, which is pretty nice. Let's see. Yeah, Kim, I would just say you can keep scalping this until the 4-hour breaks bearish again. Yeah, I don't see any problems with Aave. I think Aave looks good. Those are the levels I have for you. And I'd look for, on your 4-hour, yeah, I would look for a bounce like in here. But it can just go, right? But it'll either mitigate at the highs or it'll mitigate here. One or two. That's what I see. All right. Not. Yeah, we can look at not. Man, this thing got destroyed. This thing is down 93% from the highs. Man. All right, let's see. Is there any hope for this thing yet. So did we? Okay. It's not really a weekly break. 5-day maybe. Okay, so on the 5-day, you break your high here. You come down to this order block here. 5-day strong low here. Do you pull that low? 1596. So you do pull that low, but you don't pull this low. Okay. So here's what I can tell you, Kim. So I know you're probably asking for spot, which I will tell you. Obviously, you don't want to own it if you start closing candles below here, right? I see why you're interested in this because of the 5-day break and the fact that it's down so much and that it's probably going to return to here, right? And that's, what is that? That's like a, it's like a 136% move. I get it, right? I mean, if you're just taking the risk to reward there, it's like a 5-to-1 trade. So what I'll tell you on this is it would definitely be a spot play, and I would be more interested in it if you SFP this low. If you SFP this low, you stop everyone out who's long on this coin. Literally everyone who's ever been long on this coin, you stop them out, you reclaim, and then you go mitigate previous range. So I would just say if you're going to be trading this on spot, I would have the expectation that you're going to be stopped out, that they're going to run the lows, right? So give it a little bit of room. Like I would say, if you get a 5-day close under here, you're gone, you're out. But yeah, you could accumulate, maybe set an order underneath this low to look to come back and retest the previous lows. So yeah, that's all I'll say. I'll say don't leverage trade this coin, but yeah, no, that's the only possible play I could see for you outside of like a short. This thing looks bad. Okay, but I see the play. I see the vision. I do. Okay, LDO. Yeah. And your target is previous lows, in case that wasn't clear. Cool. Okay, so LDO came back to... Is this a weekly order block? Yes. Came back to the weekly order block. Okay, nice. Getting a bounce from the weekly order block after mitigating weekly supply. Okay, let's zoom in. Noise. Noise. Short played out. Oh, never mind. Short was over here. Short got stopped out and then played out later. Okay, cool. But that's besides the point. So we're at the weekly order block now. So you get your 1 hour break out of your order block. Down here. So you actually just broke your 1 hour out of here. Let's see, did you break any 4-hour structure? No. So your 4-hour break would be here. You're SFPing this right now. So you're SFPing your 4-hour break. So this trade's really simple for me. If you're looking for LDO on like spot or low leverage, I think you wait for the 4-hour to break. You put your stop below the new strong low and you target the highs. With the possibility of running back to like the POC of this range or the previous resistance in this range, like 172. Yeah, but your main target should be here. That's the long that I see. Let's see. And that is only if we break the 4-hour structure. Nice. It's trying to hang on to that bullish cross. Two-hour broke bullish as well. Likely a scalp in here as well. But I mean, you are SFPing on your 4-hour right now. You could look to short it, but you'd want to see a break on a lower time frame. So what could you look for? You could look for a break of 15. So your 15-minute structure breaks here. The risk to reward's not really there to like your first level of resistance. Maybe to like down here if you're looking to pull the lows in here. I would just say patience. Patience on LDO. Let Bitcoin do its thing. Go back, watch the beginning of the stream if you missed the Bitcoin analysis. That's going to be the most important part. So make sure you watch the beginning of the stream. But if LDO closes above here, you can look for a mitigation long, right? Obviously, the more retrace you get, the better risk to reward you start to get. But it is a 3 risk to reward from here. But obviously, you want to wait for that 4-hour to close. I got to start moving through these altcoins because I got a lot of people to get to. But that's the main play I see on LDO. All right, Aptos, man. Okay, so where's your daily break? Daily break's up here. Grind down. Weekly bearish too. Is there anything with more history here? No, that's the beginning. Okay. Some of these coins. Bearish there. Break it bullish here. Yeah, so everything's bearish on Aptos down to the 4-hour. In order to get some hope on Aptos, you gotta break. I would say you gotta come above. You're technically trying to break some stuff there, but with the way that this coin looks, I wouldn't really trust that with the liquidity wick here. I would want to close above this wick. I would want Aptos to show me a 4-hour close above 446.36. Otherwise, I think you're just drifting down. You're just slowly drifting down. 15-minute. We're getting a bear break here. So here's your 15-minute low. Yeah, so here's your 15-minute low. This is what I'll tell you on Aptos. If Aptos breaks 15-minute here, pulls back, I like a short down. And that would be like this. There. There's your Aptos trade. That's what I like on Aptos. Break this, and we can start talking about longs, right? Break this, mitigate. We can start talking about continuation. Until then, I don't like it. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really like it. Gotta say, I'm gonna move on to another coin. I don't really have anything constructive to say other than that short. Obviously, you could take like a golden pocket and go for like 420-ish. Nice meme number 2. It also grabs all the liquidity in these lows. But yeah, I mean, you could extend that target on that short a little bit as well. Yeah. Yeah, that's what thanks, Cuban. I didn't know that. That's what I would have guessed by looking at the chart. I would have guessed that their founder left because all it's done is bleed down. All it's done is put in lower highs and lower lows. Right? Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and now it's just. Which I mean, these things that do this. I mean, like FTX pumped, right? So I mean, if you get enough people short on something, you can get a squeeze, but it doesn't mean that there's like actual value there, which is why I'm gonna avoid saying that much on it. Okay. Sol, yeah, let's look at Sol. So Sol hit the target we were looking at around like 209. So, man, what did we say, guys? If Sol starts to hold 209, it's going to be a quick move up to 224. Sol is holding 209 right now. Man. Inward curved on the VWAP. Man. Tight trigger wave on the 1 hour. Yeah, I think Sol looks good. It continues to look good. Continues to look good. And we continue to nail this coin in this community. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit. So what would give me any caution on Sol? So you pull your 15-minute high here, which means that you have a 15-minute strong low here. Yeah, I mean, I think you have clear skies above you unless you break this. I think now you have a support level in your way. You have a strong low on your 15-minute here. I think very shortly we will be talking about Sol at 224. To change my mind, you need to break 208. If you break 208, then you may need to come back down and retest 203. Let's look at 1 hour. Yeah, innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty on Sol. That's all I'll say. Just use the strategies you guys know for how to trade this. Use like you have Cipher Matrix, you can use Cipher Matrix. Man. Yeah. I think you're just scalping long on Sol. Oh, you're long on not. Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, if you're making money, awesome. I would just be very, very careful. Ave, you're totally fine, but not, I would just be a little careful. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, Sol looks good, Cubanadian. Okay. FXS. Innocent until proven guilty on Sol, bro. FXS. Okay. That's right, Andrew Cameron. That's right. Okay. It's having a lot of trouble at this previous daily high. It's having a lot of trouble getting above 411. So you're looking at, let's see, looking at 261. I like it. I can see why you're looking at that. The only problem I have with 261 is that this order block didn't break anything. But let's zoom in. Maybe that'll change. So if we zoom in, so you break 4 hour coming out of that, which is nice. The issue is you hit your head on supply here. Yeah. Problem is you're under bearish daily structure and you can't really get above 411. So let's see. Have you been able to break? You have resistance above you here. There's probably a trade on the 4 hour at like a 4 hour golden pocket. That's what you're looking at. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. There's probably going to be a bounce here, but I wouldn't expect much out of it. I would make it prove you wrong, right? Make it break this. Like basically, this should be your take profit level until proven otherwise. So, because this coin, while the 4 hour broke bullish, because your daily and weekly are still bearish, it's still guilty until proven innocent, right? So, yeah, I think you, yeah, don't FOMO this. I think 261, if you are, it sounds like you're bullish on this for fundamental reason, right? But you should be taking profit aggressively here, and then if it runs, it runs. But yeah, I see what you're saying. I think 261 is okay, but just understand that there's probably better setups out there. You probably know something I don't, but yeah, 261 is exactly how I would play it. I agree. Sui, yeah, we can look at Sui. Okay, let's check out the spider lines on Sui. We haven't looked at that in a minute. Let's see. Okay. So Sui did do what we were talking about it doing on the stream yesterday. So we did get a 4 hour break. Okay, I need to go back to my chart. Let's see. Whoa. Okay. So we broke 4 hour structure here on Sui. We did get a mitigation wick this morning. And now we are, let's see. Yeah, then 361 Canadian. That's how I would look at. Yeah, I mean, I think until the 4 hour flips back bearish, you just have to be aware of this resistance here. So if you're looking at Sol, I would watch out for pulling these highs to break these lows to come back down. But until it breaks 15-minute structure, you would just be bullish. So on the 15-minute, come up to set a low. You then SFP that low, then SFP the high. Yeah, it's just looks like it's just waiting to see what Bitcoin's gonna do, basically. But in the short term, whichever one of these breaks first, is likely going to be the direction. If you do get a correction, now that you have broken 4-hour market structure, you can pull your fib here. And you're looking at like $3.22 kind of in this decision block as well. If you get some sort of structure in there, you come back up to liquidity in these highs. And then ultimately, the target that we've been looking at for a while at about $3.60, unmitigated supply on the daily there, be your ultimate target. It is innocent until proven guilty. Only, I think let's see. No, the weekly's still bullish. Where do we bounce from on the weekly? Golden pocket. Man, perfect golden pocket bounce on the weekly. Yeah, innocent until proven guilty on SUI as well. You have your current 4-hour strong low down at the lows at 3.11, so you have a little bit of room to pull back. But if it breaks this high here, that's a 1.4% stop loss targeting up here. It's like a 4-to-1 risk to reward. If you come down, yeah, you're looking at like $3.22 down here. Maybe pull somewhere in the liquidity zone in here. Be most likely. If it's possible, it's just pulling this low. Let's see. Do we have any order blocks in there? Already mitigated. So we do have an unmitigated block, breaker block here, but that's in premium. Let's see. It's 0.5 at. Yeah, it's in premium. Yeah, so I would say if you break above 340, you do have this long here to come up to like 360. But if you come down, you also have the long from the golden pocket down here. I would use 15-minute structure to get into this, and that's a nice long as well. If you use 15-minute structure, you can have a better stop loss, right? But that would be like the set it and forget it trade. And then if you break this low on the 15-minute, with your 4-hour being bullish, oh, so that would also be a 1-hour break as well. Yeah, so if you break this low, you could look to short it back down to the golden pocket. It's like a 2-to-1. But that's only if you get a 1-hour close below here. That's what I see on SUI. So again, these things are innocent until proven guilty. Make them prove it to you that they want to pull back. Otherwise, they can just drift up, right? These are the coins that have already flipped their 4-hour structure, right? So the default assumption should be they're going to bleed up, right? Or they're going to slowly drift up, right? If they're going to correct, make them prove it to you, and then know where your target is, right? You're in a new 4-hour uptrend. You're not targeting here, right? Your operating assumption is that it's going to pull back to continue the 4-hour trend, right? So when you're taking a short in an uptrend, you're just looking for this move here, right? When you're taking the long, you can leave your runner, and right, you can aim for a much higher target. So either it's kind of the same to like the Bitcoin and ETH trade we talked about at the beginning, right? You're going to break the highs, use your new strong low as your stop, or you're going to break the lows, you're going to come down and retrace, you're going to get in your golden pocket, you're going to get on a 15-minute structure break, you're going to ride it back up to the target at the highs. Awesome, guys. I probably have time for one more. So let's see, what was next? I see Ondo for Mikey. Yeah, let's look at Ondo for Mikey, and then we'll call it a night. Let's see. So immediately when I flip over to Ondo, I see that we just broke bearish on the 1-hour. Let's see. Look at the 4-hour. You broke bullish on the 4-hour here. Was it? Could be a deviation. It's unknown right now. So you're either going to mitigate here or you're going to come down and mitigate somewhere in this decision block here. Let's take a look at our fibs from the top. Golden pocket. It's a nice little target inside of this decision block. Really anywhere in this decision block, I'm just going to mark this out. So this would be demand here. You also have an order block hidden here. All right, so we know that we're bearish on the 1 hour, so what are we waiting for, right? We're waiting for a smaller time frame to break bullish. So let's zoom in, right? So let's go to our 30 minute. So 30 minute just broke bearish too, didn't give us any high here to look at. Okay, let's look at our 15 minute. Our 15 minute breaks bearish at the same spot, right? Right here. Our 15 minute does give us a high to work with, right? So we do have a high here. So we could be looking for, let's see if it's possible. I'm going to run through this kind of fast for you, Mikey, but I'm going to give you everything, okay, man? So, okay. So if the 15 minute, I do like, everything's mitigated up to here. So if you can break your 15 minute, let's see if you'll have risk to reward on your side. $268 with the possibility to run to okay. Have you broken down trending momentum yet? Okay. Yeah, so the first place I'd be looking for is a break here to get in. I would look for a little bit of a retracement if possible, like just to get to a 3-to-1. Yeah, so it doesn't even have to be that much of a retracement. I mean, you're just talking like a little tiny bit of retracement, right? So on your mitigation, you want to look for a little bit of a pullback to get your 3-to-1. Obviously, the bigger the pullback, the better for your RR, right? But you could start nibbling at like a 3-to-1, right? It's like right here. So I like this, but make sure it closes above here first, right? You want to see the clear break. Otherwise, you want to see it slowly drift down, and somewhere in this blue box, you want to see a break of structure. When you get that break of structure in the blue box, you're going to be targeting the highs. Obviously, like the closer you get to your, as you get to your like golden pocket, that's awesome, right? And then if you lose this and pull these liquidity in these lows, this is kind of your last stand level, which is down here at like 88, 89 cents. But you do have a 4-hour strong low that you can put your stop loss below here. So 4-hour strong low. So yeah, that's kind of what I'd be looking for. Basically, you're looking for a 15-minute break of structure somewhere as we correct down to get into the next leg up. I like it. I like that you brought this coin to me, Mikey. I think it looks good. Looks okay. Just make sure it proves itself, right? So you are in a 1-hour downtrend now, which means that you may want to pay yourself a little bit when we get to like these unmitigated supply points, right? So your first overhead area of concern is going to be, I guess the first one is kind of 96 cents, but the one that you'd really want to watch out for is like 96.77. But really, you would just be looking for like the 5-minute to break back bearish at one of these points, and that would be like an exit criteria for you. But otherwise, the deeper the pullback, the better, and just look for structure to get in. 15-minute structure, not 5-minute. 15-minute. Why 15-minute? Because you just broke your 1 hour. Okay, Mikey, I hope that helps, man. All right, guys, I appreciate all y'all being here. As always, we are so close to 400 subscribers. Let's see if we hit it today. $397. Awesome, guys. All right, well, we are so close. So hopefully we'll be celebrating and doing that giveaway soon. And if you missed the beginning of the stream, please go back and watch. It's only like 15, 20 minutes. Please go back and watch the first 15, 20 minutes. It's going to give you everything you need for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's going to continue higher, go watch that, especially with what Bitcoin's doing right now. It looks like it's pumping a little bit. So, as always, make sure you subscribe, ring the bell, like the stream, join the free Discord link to the top of the chat. Trade safe. Much love. Wave Cipher out.